novice Arctic explorers to ski 350 miles to the magnetic North Pole. And there were 2 qualifications that they advertised. The first was the ability to work in a team. So I knew I could do that because I worked in a team in the workplace. And the second was the ability to raise £15,000 to pay for your place. Now, I had absolutely no idea how to do that. I had raised £1,500 for an expedition I'd done several years previously, but this, of course, was 10 times that sum. However, I said to myself, if it's meant to be, I'll find a way to raise that money. So it didn't faze me too much because I thought, what's the worst that can happen if I send off for information? If I take that first step, there's no consequence to that apart from following my curiosity. Well, it's all white. There is no external stimulus. So there's no color. There's often no sound if there's no wind. There's no voices, often from your teammates, because it's too cold to speak. And you're skiing in single file because the ice conditions beneath your feet may be such that if you walk beside one another, you're putting extra weight on the same piece of ice. So you tended to ski single file. Now, take away all of those external stimulus, that means the way you're going to get motivated is being what's going on in your head. And these days, and then on that expedition, sometimes we don't want to have no distractions. Sometimes I think people are fearful of thinking, well, if you strip back everything else and I'm left with my own thoughts, what is in my head? And that's when I had to be really conscious about how I was thinking. If I began to think, oh, it's cold. Oh, I'm not feeling very well today. Oh, my legs are tired. Well, of course, what happened to my speed of skiing is it just got slower because your mindset really affects your performance. And that's the same in the workplace, is to just take small steps. Small actions continuously add up to progress. There's a sort of assessment tool that people may be familiar with called the Belbin team roles. And I think it gives people a sort of different types of characteristics that you have within a team. And one of the characteristics I have is completer finisher, which means if I start a job, I'm always going to finish it. Now, put that into that scenario, and it's quite a difficult call then when I have a strong sense of I must finish this, I've started it, to say, no, you don't have to because you're not on the right journey for you. So that was, for me personally, one of the challenges was knowing that enough to take that step back and say, this isn't the right thing for me. Think about why would anybody follow you? If you think, a leader has to have followers, and to ask yourself the question, well, why would anybody want to follow me if I'm the leader? And I then often add on to that question, well, why would anybody want to follow me? Well, they would need to know what I stand for. So being able to understand your own personal mission or your organization's mission and purpose, and then being able to walk the talk. There's a Harvard professor, Rebecca Henderson, who I heard talk one time. And one of the phrases that she said that really stuck with me is, leaders need to learn to say no to good things. And if you think about it, there's lots of different opportunities that we can have in our jobs, in our business, in our lives, in fact. And we haven't got time to do everything, as much as we'd like to. So to be able to say no to good things is something that is a mistake. I see that leaders then, they don't make those tough decisions. So they say, yes, we'll do that, and we'll try and do that, and we'll do that as well. And what happens is a person ends up with a ginormous to-do list where they know they'll never get through it all. The boss knows everything will never get accomplished, and nobody has a difficult conversation to say, stop that to-do list at number 10, and the things from 10 below, we're just not going to do them. Take them off the list. Because we have to accept that we will say no to good things. So that's one common mistake that I see. So being able to say no and being able to then actually enable others to take control, because that leader doesn't have to have the answers, but they need to be a great enabler.
Completely agree, yes.